Hey everyone, so today we'll be learning about trigonometry basics. All right, so this is a very important topic of your syllabus. So we'll be learning about that. Now let's first understand what trigonometry is. Okay, so trigonometry is basically dealing with the ratios with the sides of a right angled triangle. Okay, so we'll be learning first about right angled triangles. All right. So trigonometry is about right angle triangles. Okay. It is about other angle triangles also, but first we'll learn about the right angled triangles. Okay. So suppose I have a right angle triangle ABC. So let's draw it A, B, and C. So this is a right angle triangle A, B, and C, and it is right angled at B. Okay, it is right angled at B. All right. Now, if you have been given with the lengths of the triangle, suppose this is 5 centimeter, this is 2 centimeter, and this is 3 centimeter. Okay. Now, we know that we can use Pythagoras in here to find out if one of the side of the triangle is not given, you can use the Pythagoras to find the missing side. Okay, we know that. Now, what happens in trigonometry? In trigonometry, it is just the ratios of various sides of a right angled triangle. Okay, so suppose if you're finding out 5 over 2 or 3 over 2 or 2 over 5 or 2 over 3. Okay, so these ratios, the ratios which represent the sides of a triangle, of a right angle triangle, that is your trigonometric ratios. So trigonometry is the relationship between various sides of a triangle. Okay, so what happens in trigonometry? There are fixed names for every ratio. Okay, suppose let's look at this angle, angle C. Okay, let's take the angle as X. Okay, now to find out the value of angle X, there are various ratios and their definitions which we can use to find out the measure of angle X. Okay, so let's first learn about the sides of the triangle. Okay, now suppose you have to find out the measure of angle X. Okay, so the first thing that we need to learn is that the side which is adjacent to the angle, which is side BC. This is known as the adjacent side. Okay, this is known as the adjacent side. Okay, the side which is opposite to the angle is known as the opposite side. It's very easy to learn. The side which is opposite to the unknown angle or the angle measure which you have to find is known as the opposite side. And the third side, we know that it is the hypotenuse. Okay. So whatever angle measure you have to find, the side which is just next to it or adjacent to it except the hypotenuse, that is known as the adjacent side. The side which is opposite to the angle measure is known as the opposite side, and the last side is your hypotenuse. Okay. Now, to find out the value of angle X, what we'll do, we have a ratio known as sine. Okay, these are fixed ratios. You have to learn the definitions so that it will be easy for you to find out the angle measure. Okay, now for finding the value of sine of X, the definition for this is sine X is the opposite side upon the hypotenuse. Okay, so that is the formula or the definition for sine X. Now, you can find out the value of sine X from your calculator. If you have the value of X, you can find sine X. Okay, so sine of X is equals to opposite upon hypotenuse. Now, there's another ratio which is cos X, which is adjacent upon the hypotenuse. Okay. And there's another ratio which is tan x, which is the opposite upon adjacent. So these are the ratios that you have to learn, and we will use its use in the, like, we'll apply this in various questions. Okay. Now you have to learn these three things. These are the three ratios. We have total 6 trigonometric ratios, but in this video, we'll be learning about only 3. Okay. Now let's solve this with the help of an example. Okay. I'll make you understand with the help of an example. Okay. Now suppose we have a question. This is your question, and you have to find out the value of x. Okay. Now, first of all, what we'll do, we are given with the two sides of a right angle triangle. We know that the triangle is a right angle, and we have to find out the measure of angle x. Now, what is 5 with respect to x? It is the adjacent. It is the adjacent side. And what is 4 with respect to x? It is the opposite side. So what ratio will be using for finding out the value of x? Will it be sin x, cos x, or tan x? It will be tan x, because the formula for tan x is tan x equals opposite upon adjacent. Okay. So tan of x will be equals to, what is the measure of the opposite side? It is 4. The adjacent side is 5. So we can find out the value of tan x from, x from our scientific calculators. Okay. So these are the applications of these ratios. Now let's do another question. Now we have to find out the value of x in this question. Okay. Now, this is an angle A is x degrees. Now, what is the adjacent side? This is the adjacent side now, because we are referring with angle x, which is angle A. So this is the adjacent side, and this is the opposite side. Okay. Now, what are we going to use? We have the opposite side, we have the adjacent side. So what we can find out? We'll use the function tan of x is equals to opposite, which is 8, upon adjacent. So the value of x will be tan inverse x by 3. Now we'll learn in another separate video to find out the values of these things. Okay. Tan x, tan inverse x, or sin x, or sin inverse x. So what we can observe from here, we can observe that whenever the angle is changing in a triangle, the opposite side and the adjacent side is also changed. Okay, so we have to keep that in mind, that whenever the angles are changing, the values of adjacent and the opposite side will be different for all the angles. First, you have to mark it. So a section is that you can mark it and then you can find out.